I'm guessing that a part of the reason that you want to learn AI from the lovely, talented, and brilliant Miss Paws is that you want to work on your own AI research project. So before we go deep into how AI works and how you can create your own models, it's important to talk about resources that can help you come up with a cool AI project. We're going to first start with research-related resources. That is, in order to come up with a novel AI project, it's important to stay abreast of AI developments and know what already exists and what computer scientists have been working on. We'll start out with one of my favorite resources, arXiv. arXiv is for cutting-edge preprints and technical papers. Now, especially when you're starting to learn about AI, understanding these research papers will be difficult. But don't worry, oftentimes reading the abstract, skim reading the paper, or inputting the paper in ChatGPT for a summary is often enough for you to understand the contributions of a paper. Normally, I don't just go to arXiv directly to find a paper. However, when I do a Google search on a topic that I'm interested in, say creating an AI translator that translates cat meows and purrs into human language, I might come across some arXiv papers that I want to read. arXiv papers are not peer-reviewed, so you shouldn't completely trust the results of every paper out there. But it's still an amazing way to learn about what other scientists are working on. Google Scholar is another wonderful resource. It's a compendium of academic research, scholarly articles, master's and PhD theses, books, and conference papers. You will come across many arXiv papers on there as well as tons of other resources. IEEE Explore is a great research database for access to peer-reviewed journal articles and conference proceedings. Unfortunately, access to certain full articles generally is limited to universities and certain companies. Tech companies have their own pages with AI publications. For example, you can check out publications coming from Google Research and Microsoft Research. These companies also have their own blog posts, which oftentimes are shorter and easier to understand than research papers. They serve as a great starting point to understand innovations at a high level. Some examples are Google DeepMind's blog and OpenAI's blog. There's also MIT Technology Review, which features accessible articles on various applications of AI. Unless you're subscribed to it, access will unfortunately be limited. Once you have a sense of what type of problem you want to solve using AI, it's important to understand what datasets are out there. Without data, you won't be able to train your AI model. Kaggle is a classic for data scientists. It contains thousands of datasets and thousands of user-uploaded notebooks that walk you through data processing and model training step by step. What's great about Kaggle is that you can import datasets easily into Kaggle notebooks, and that they have free computing power to train your models. Kaggle also hosts competitions where you can submit your AI models and try to win by getting the highest accuracy with your AI model. Google Dataset Search is similar to Google Scholar, but for datasets and contains millions of datasets pertaining to a variety of fields. If you're looking for textual data, specifically books, Project Gutenberg is an excellent resource consisting of tens of thousands of free ebooks. These are all older works for which US copyright has expired. Last but not least, we have the popular UCI datasets. These datasets are commonly used in tutorials and can be used by you to quickly test out if your model is working. We will be using these simple datasets in future modules as well. Once you have your datasets, you can check out Python libraries that might help you out in your research. Hugging Face is a popular Python library that contains millions of AI models and datasets. OpenCV is for all things computer vision, which is the field that focuses on deriving meaningful information from images, videos, and other visual inputs. If you're working with language, Spacy is a great one for all things natural language processing for 75 plus languages. We'll be talking about this one in depth later on in the course. Then there's Magenta, which is focused on generative AI in the areas of art and music. If you're using AI to play games, Pygame is a great library to create games in Python. So you know how to read upon current research, where to find your datasets, and some domain-specific Python libraries. What if you started coding and needed help with it? Well, there's the option that's popular today, Vibe Coding with GitHub Copilot. You can download the GitHub Copilot extension on VS Code and prompt it to write code for you or ask it for help when your code is not running. Vibe coding is great, but I would definitely recommend you to understand every line of code the AI generates so you know what's happening and you're not left scratching your head if your code doesn't work. Unfortunately, the code that LLMs generate is not always functional. Despite the convenience of LLMs, I do sometimes prefer the old-fashioned method of taking a look at GitHub, which is a public code repository, and seeing how other people have coded their models. Stack Overflow is another great platform where you can ask and answer other people's questions related to coding. Of course, true to my feline nature, I'm a professional lurker, benefiting from the wisdom of other people answering questions on the platform, but never contributing any answers myself. Sorry, not sorry. We also have blogs like Medium and Towards Data Science, which provide code and explanations. These often are helpful. Unfortunately, you have a limited number of free articles you can read, and many of the articles may be behind a paywall. So, what happens when you're done with your AI research? You can publish it in various conferences, which we will talk about in later modules. You can also submit it to a hackathon. A hackathon is where programmers collaborate to create something new in a short period of time. DevPost hosts several awesome hackathons, so you can definitely check that out today. That's all I have. Miss Paws out. See you next time. Want to go deeper into AI? Check out the MehtA Plus certification program. Details in the description. Don't procrastinate.
ME to the HTA plus, that's my zone. Leaping hurdles, breaking boundaries, never alone. Miss Paws on the block.